nice to speak to you. I wanted to comment on the clip you had about the officer. I think his name was Officer Dion.
Dion Joseph.
Dion Joseph. Okay. I'm a retired police sergeant, 27 years in a suburb of Columbus, and I disagreed. I liked what he had to say. He was spot on with how it is to become a police officer and how you serve the public and how much they appreciate you. He was dead on. I disagree with him wholeheartedly in his viewpoint that Derek Chauvin is guilty of murder. And the reason I'm saying that is, first of all, you don't start your shift. You don't go to work as a policeman thinking, I'm going to kill someone today. I'm sick and tired of black people, or I'm sick and tired of white people or old people. I'm going to go kill one today. You don't go to work like that. Now, George Floyd was a big man, even though he was obviously under the influence of illegal drugs. He was about 6'4", 225 pounds, and in his early to mid-40s. He was a big, strong guy. I've fought with people throughout my career, and he was passively resisting, meaning that George Floyd was not punching, kicking, or trying to stab any of those officers, but he did not want to go into that police car. He did not want to be in handcuffs. He struggled the entire time. I watched the entire 18-minute clip of that video, that body camera video. Those officers had their hands full with him, and on top of that, they had to be concerned about the people that were showing up on the street corners and jeering them. And I believe that Derek Chauvin, at the point he had his knee on George Floyd's back of his neck, I believe that he was taking a pause, trying to figure out, what do we do next? What's the best course of action to protect all of us, us four officers, and to protect this guy? What should we do next? And in that amount of time, again, George Floyd, I believe, caused his own death because he was on drugs. They call that, I think it's called excited delirium. I believe George Floyd contributed to his own death, and I do not think that Derek Chauvin went out to work that day to kill anyone. It's unfortunate that it happened. Perhaps he would be guilty of, manslaughter or involuntary manslaughter at the absolute most. The man does not deserve to be in prison. He spent years, I believe about 2 decades, serving the public, and it's wrong. And I wanted to speak out to this young man, Officer Dion. He has an opinion, but I wanted my opinion to be heard. And I did a full 27 years. I think this Officer Dion is new in his career. I did 27 years, and I'm telling you from the heart, nobody wants to go to work wanting to kill anybody. Certainly, we want to help people. And it doesn't matter how long you do the job or what kind of neighborhood you work in. I worked in a very upper middle class, mostly white community, but still, you still will have people that will want to fight you and not want to go along. When they're going to be arrested or detained, they do not want to go along with the program. But you're the police; you have to be in charge. And fighting the cops is fighting the cops, no matter where, no matter what town. And it's a handful when there's someone that big as George Floyd was. It can be a handful. And I think if you watch that video objectively, the body cam video, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, Jay, thank you for calling. Thank you for serving, Jay. I have watched that video many times. I agree 100% with you. I was disappointed that Dion Joseph made his conclusion, but I don't feel that verdict is a miscarriage of justice the way I felt, for example, the O.J. Simpson verdict was a miscarriage of justice. But had I been on that jury, Jay, I would have held out. I would have found him not guilty on any of the charges. I would have been very unpopular in my community, but I would have found him not guilty, Jay.
I know, and I've heard you say that. I listen to you every night. I've heard you say that from the get-go, and I just wanted to speak out. I just couldn't stand to hear one more person jump on Derek Chauvin and beat him up because but again, it's my perspective from a different part of the country. I think Officer Dion is he in L.A. or Oakland, California?
He's L.A. I'm sorry. This is LAPD. But I think he's been on the force longer than you think. I think he's been on the force close to 20 years. But I'll check that. Anyway, Jay, thank you very much for the call. And again, I agree 100% with you. I was disappointed that Dion Joseph felt that way and felt so strongly that way. But everything else he said was absolutely spot on, which is why I played it, which is also why I wanted you to know that he and I had a different opinion about Derek Chauvin.